Join me as we talk all things true crime.
Made contact and shattered.
The missing 4-year-old. The parents have called in and that the mother has went through a wall, came home, now they can't find her.
Chad, where are Lori's kids? They've been missing for 4 months. You have nothing to say?
4 were stabbed multiple times and were likely asleep during the attack. Some had defensive wounds.
Most of them had just like one that was the lethal stab wound.
Oh, what a tangled web we weave. Once I told a lie, and I told my family, I had to keep lying.
McSherman is a demon.
We haven't cleared anybody.
Hey everybody, thank you for being here for another ATS News live stream. We took a break last Friday from covering the Idaho 4 case. Let me know, guys, if you can hear me also, and it's good to see everyone in chat. We covered the Celeste Rivas Hernandez case last Friday, and I still have not seen any arrests or updates in that case, not even a suspect named. I just checked for updates. So this Friday, we're going to get back into the deep dives. Thank you so much, Pointer Lover and Adrian, Debbie. Thanks all my mods letting me know that they can hear me, and everyone else, it's good to see you. So this is another body cam footage from the Idaho 4 case, Bryankohberger, the morning of the 911 call. So it's only been around 8-ish, 9-ish hours since Bryankohberger was in that house and committed the crime that he is now serving a life sentence for. Let me pull up where we're pulling this from. So this is on Zavgirl's channel. I've liked the stream. You guys, if you want to watch this without commentary, head over to her channel. Let me share the link in chat. It is also linked in the description box too. And yeah, I hope my moderator, Johnny, feels better. Told me he was feeling a little sick. So let me help the mods out and link the channel right there in chat. And then, yeah, I've sent the link out to a few friends. So my friend Jay, moderator and member, might join us as well. We're not going to be pausing too much. Like we will to kind of share our thoughts. I have not watched this yet. Those in chat, has anyone seen this? Put a 1 in chat if you've seen this. Put a 2 if you haven't seen it yet. Of course, we know that morning, because we read through the supplemental reports on previous live streams, that numerous cops showed up at that moment. Okay, good. It seems like already we've got a few that haven't seen it too. So we're all just going to watch this together. Also, there was an extended version, or I guess another interview with the surviving roommate Dylan that has been released. I believe Plunder has that video too. That happened last week also, near the end of last week. I want to watch that also, but I don't think we're going to get time to do that and this body cam. So we'll just do the body cam. Then we'll do another stream and watch her other interview, because I haven't watched that either. Basically, we're just going to continue doing the Idaho 4 playlist that I have on my channel, that we've been covering this case since before a murder happened. Like right when it became breaking and it was just like all over the place on the news everywhere, and we didn't know what was going on. So, okay, cool. Alrighty, so I will get this started, and yeah, we'll just hang out. Thank you guys for being here for a Friday night hangout session. And then, like the banner says on the bottom, hit the likes and subscribe button. And then Sunday, we'll do our Watts deep dive also. I've added a second channel to my YouTubes, and it is also linked in the description box as well. So check that out too. And yes, we will get watching this right now. Okay, hold on. Like I said, I have not seen this. I'm just muting it until that music stops.
Moscow Police. Whereabouts?
Moscow Police Department.
I copy.
I know you guys probably are already aware, but anything that has a huge blacked out X is redacted. Hi, support. It's good to see you. Support with Steffa. It's good to see you've been with me since the beginning of my channel. So it's always good to see you in chat or the comment section.
Sounds clear. We're clear, guys. Security outside first. You go to the front door. Well, you've been in.
Hi.
Another entry. There's a back entry.
Hey. Okay, guys. So like I said, my friend Jay is also joining us tonight. He has a channel. I'm going to add him to the title so you can check that out too and subscribe to him.
Thanks so much.
No problem. He's just going to hang out with us and watch this. Have you seen this yet? This, I guess, got released last week.
No, I wanted to wait so my reaction could be live, so it could be as authentic as possible.
Oh, I appreciate that. Okay, yeah. So just chime in, anytime you gotta say something, go right ahead because I'm curious for your thoughts.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Brian's taping the outside off at the moment. Where's the other? Two in the room. Two females and a dog. Yeah, so one. House is clear. Just shut the door. Got a dog in there.
So he just said, make sure you shut the door so the dog doesn't get in there. And it's just been something I've been wondering and kind of bouncing around. Was the door open or shut? Like when they all got there? I still haven't got a clear, as soon as they got there, they knew that the door was open or shut.
To me, it feels like, they obviously they didn't run out in a complete panic. You know what I mean? They had some time to collect their thoughts. So I'm not sure whether it was left open or not. Maddie's room upstairs, when the cops arrived, was that door open or shut? Sorry, I thought you meant the front door. Yeah.
No, you're fine. I know there's a million doors and actually numerous ones were left open. So yeah, just to clarify, that was my fault.
No worries.
Because in the supplemental report, it said that they kept everything the same except for closing the door so the dog didn't get in there. So I don't know. I guess I'm hoping chat or somebody has that clear answer because for some reason I still cannot get a real grasp. The second that the cops arrived, did Hunter open the door? And when he got there, maybe that's stated in his interview because I have not watched his interview yet either.
Yeah, neither have I. And I think, that is a very important thing, whether it has been 100% preserved or not. You know what I mean? Any little thing can completely throw off, traces of potentially Brian's DNA, when he cut himself a little bit when he was going crazy with the knife, maybe got some blood on the door handle, you know what I mean? And someone else's DNA is on it now and it's compromised. So I don't
I
have
just can't even.
see
I'm
any
just trying to
definitive
paint like
answers.
a whole picture too, like just like the night that it happened. Like I'm trying to just picture Koberger. Did he just run out of the room after Xana, like they've kind of portrayed it, or was he like closing the door?
I think that he was frantic. I think he was in a state where his, all the way he portrays himself to be, really measured and thought out and calculated. I think that all went out the window. I think when he gave into these sadistic, psychopathic impulses, that all that logic, all that planning, with the best will in the world, goes out the window. You know what I mean? And I think he was sloppy, and I think he would have certainly, the fact that we know he caught himself with his own knife when he was carrying out the attacks because it was so brutal. You know what I mean? Like that sounds like he was frantic to me.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Do you think he was together, or do you think he was in a complete, psychotic trance almost?
I think that he has just one like tempo or temperament.
Baseline, yeah.
Yeah, and so like when Dylan said that she heard him say, "I'm gonna," or "It's okay, I'm gonna help you," and she said that it sounded like weird or something like that. I think that that's just him. Like even if he was in his head and like the whole situation was like frantic, which I think it was, because I think that's why the sheath got left up there. Um, it appears he did have like a mark on his thumb. So whether that was from Xana or whatever, you know what I mean? That whole getting caught is what they've stated, that Xana came up there and fell into that situation. Yeah, I could see him kind of like shutting the door and still kind of catching up to her. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Like even still, like it could be this weird thing where he is in this frantic state, but somehow he's still able to have these strong character traits that, despite the crazy situation he's in, despite how different it is to his everyday life, he's still able to maintain this bizarre sense of normalcy because he's so detached from what's going on. It's like, to us, that, and to all the roommates, that was a horror, you know what I mean? But to him, it's not that. He doesn't see it the way, hi Alex, yeah, he just, his brain is, this is a high, it's like I know it's crazy to think, but he would have seen that as like the perfect day almost. And it's so weird to think that, and because of that, I think maybe you're right and you're onto something, that he was able to keep a degree of composure, you know what I mean? Because I mean, he went back afterwards, so like,
Yeah.
I think if he was in this really detached state, I have this, for some reason I have this image of him just running into the night and not looking back, you know what I mean? Like someone who's really mentally ill. But what we know, the fact he came back, that's a degree of calculation right there,
Mm-hmm.
So it's really strange and difficult to actually pinpoint his pathology because only he really knows.
I know. And I really hope that actually we get a clear answer on this. Like when Hunter got there and he went upstairs, he approached it and the door was open or closed. Like I would just, because again, it's all in the details for someone like me.
Oh,
like when I'm studying, and I know you're the same way. It's all in the details of like kind of understanding every little thing, even the surviving roommates, like understanding them and trying to understand their actions, etc., is still understanding the whole crime, even if we don't think they're involved in it. Like it's just the psychology of the whole night. Everybody involved in it is, that's what I really love about like true crime. You know what I mean? Like the eyewitnesses, even, and everything about like them and what they were thinking at the time, So I don't know. I really hope we get a clear answer on that, because that'll help paint the whole picture for me. Because I could also see him like running out of there and leaving the door open, which I just wonder, like, so then how did Murphy already not go in there? You know what I mean? Unless the dog just sensed it, because they can probably smell it and sense it from outside the room.
Oh, I totally agree. I think dogs and cats and house animals in general, they have a sixth sense of when there's danger afoot. You know what I mean? That's how they survive. You know, and they sense this unbalance in the atmosphere with him there, who's not a regular. Who obviously they don't know. Murphy didn't know, and with an energy that is different and worrying. You know, I genuinely believe that cats and dogs and other animals can pick up these
Oh yeah, for sure.
these kinds of things.
Which is like the whole thing too about Murphy being lost that night. Like I
Yes.
wonder if Kohberger had been snooping like before anybody ever has like speculated that evening. And Murphy
Oh,
like knew about it and stuff and was like doing a perimeter check or something. You know what I mean?
absolutely. That's what cats and dogs do. You know what I mean? I've had enough pets throughout the years. I have them now. You know, and throughout like every evening, I see my cats doing a patrol of the perimeter. You know what I mean? Even when there's nothing afoot. You know what I mean? So that possibly was Murphy's routine, was to patrol the house to make sure everything's okay, and when everyone's settling down, and maybe spotted
Especially
him and was
if
like, "I'm
Kohberger
getting
was
the hell out of here."
around. Like they try to paint it as Kohberger had been kind of watching them,
Yeah,
you know, and I think that that's totally possible. And plus his seatbelt ticket that he had gotten was in Moscow anyways. So it's like, why was he there? You know what I mean? Like it's all too weird to kind of assume that it was just random and that he wasn't watching this house.
absolutely. I mean, A, he wouldn't have known how to get around the place. B, this is America, you know what I mean? Like, this isn't England. This isn't other countries where, you know, most people don't have firearms. How would he know if he didn't just walk in there? He could be shot, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
shows he knew no one in there was armed with a firearm and that he would be able to take control of that situation with a knife alone.
And yeah, good point. And plus he look at this window in this shot right here. No curtains. It's just kind of
Exactly.
like wide open. It was like the perfect looking area for him. And I'm sure, and yeah. Mac J, thank you so much. And Pointer Lover, 39 months membership. Thank you so much. It's crazy.
That's an interesting point from Denise.
Let me see. Hold on. Sorry. StreamYard. Murphy is to BK as Bubba was to Alex Murdoch. Yeah.
Oh, a different comment.
That's still a good one.
Yes, it's true. But she says about she thinks BK was familiarizing Murphy with him when Murphy would run off from the girls. So like maybe he was trying to bribe or coax Murphy into not barking when he turned up, because we do know he was a fan of animals and didn't want to harm Murphy or any kind of pet. So it doesn't make him any less of a monster, but you know, it adds a degree of confusion to his whole pathology and makes him more difficult to understand. But yeah, like I think that's a fair point. I think that's possibly what he was doing by casing the place, and also in that process maybe coaxing Murphy, getting Murphy familiar with him so he wouldn't bark when he turns up later.
Yeah. And I just keep going back to that statement that they said that Kaylee saw somebody watching her and Murphy when they were out together.
Exactly. It completely fits. Like you know, it's great to speculate, but when you have things that can back up what you think, it's even better.
100%.
Where's the... Okay, start getting everybody's names, Eric, and then you need to start a crime scene log. Copy. You go see what you can track with. Track with. Yeah, we're gonna need. everybody, I think. We got 4 deceased. Yeah, 11, 22. Here's, oh,
I just don't. I understand they're redacting things that are too graphic, etc. But there's so many other cases where we can still hear this type of conversation.
That's the thing. I think, the cases, I mean, I think just because time passes doesn't make it any easier. I
What
don't
was
think
that?
so.
That last second, what was that?
Sorry, I was just thinking, like, it's like with other cases, like, that are older, we've got absolutely everything there is, you know what I mean? Like, just because time's passed, you think that their families feel any easier about it, you know what I mean? Regardless, it's going to be difficult for their families and their loved ones to maybe hear this, but if we want to be able to piece together exactly what happened, like you said previously just then, like, we need the details, you know what I mean? It's not that we're desensitized to this, so that we really want to see this stuff, we really would rather not, but in order to make up our own minds about what happened, we kind of need as much as we can get.
Right. And it also leaves room for those to just point the finger at law enforcement and everyone involved here and be like, why aren't they being transparent? And it really could be stuff that's just like, that's just not for like public consumption, which I can understand to a degree, but it's just, there's so much of it in this case that it really has kind of left the speculation to run even more wild.
And that isn't helpful, you know what I mean? Like, people go at people, accusing them of, blaming the roommates and all this other kind of stuff, when that void is filled because of the redactions and we're not getting, that transparency that we need, and everyone has a right, I think, to want that, you know what I mean? Most the families of the victims,
Yeah, let's face it, they pretty much have said, at least like in Calvis have said, like, we want everything released, like, and that they hope that there's pressure from the public for it.
And that's, yeah, I completely sympathize with that. And, I'm not going to speak for you, but for me, like, I completely think that that's the right thing to do. And, we have this platform, and it's great to be able to, at the very least say, we hope that happens, and we're not going to just forget about this case. This is serious stuff, and I'll never forget about this case.
Oh, I know. And it's going to be one of those cases that, I mean, Kohberger will be studied, like in forensics, in criminology, like he's just like he was studying BTK under that professor, which is just all crazy.
Yeah. It's sorry. No, it's fine. Doesn't matter.
okay, we literally just got here and got the house cleared. Eric's.
There's nothing else up there. You want me to go back there and start ID?
Yes, please. We're getting everybody ID'd, and looks like there's it looks like there's some stuff in here, alpha fee, and bid stuff in here. We have and then doesn't sound like anybody on the main floor downstairs. Whew. John. And then we have we got some footprints coming from the back of the apartment. It looks like. We won't fuck with those. Ryan's taping everything off. Warner's starting a crime log. And that's where we're at so far.
Okay, I'll be there then.
Okay, thanks. Right here with you, bud.
Looks like they just go the snow track right.
Those ones?
That door was open, so.
This one was?
Yeah.
Okay, no one touched it?
No one touched it.
Make sure everybody.
I haven't interviewed anybody. No one touched it. Your footprint there. I have one track that comes up this way, but I tried using the rocks to go back down.
Okay. Oh, here.
I just started
He's right up here. Hey, Ryan.
And there's a bag back here too.
Okay, make sure that includes it. And you got your cell phone?
Yeah, for the seven.
Start taking some photos. Are you talking about this bag?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't know if it looks like mine. I get very close.
Yeah, let's just leave it be for now.
Yeah,
Sure, just be mindful of where you step, because we got some.
did you get my checkbook about?
Yes, thank you. Tyson's on his way in. That's where we're at the moment. Make sure there's anything in there.
Sound like they're redacting Hunter's.
Photos of everybody too that you talked to.
I was just saying that it sounded like they were redacting what Hunter was telling the cop outside.
Yeah, it seems like a lot's been redacted. It's like I keep thinking every few seconds that my phone's playing up, and then it's just not playing it. But yeah, they're holding a lot back.
And at least it seems they were on top of, like, careful where you step. They already had the tape up at that point.
Taking pictures as well.
Yeah, so all that, it looks really good. You know what I mean? Like, as far, like, much better than when we watched the Watts case body cam.
No, absolutely.
Hi, Roxanne.
Hey, 5313. Let's encompass the parking lot too for this address. Yeah, that would be good. Just make sure you don't touch anything back there. And you're gloved up good. Said you're gloved up good. Just fucking look around and see if you can see anything. It's not, well, photograph that stuff if you don't mind. In case shit starts melting, and then we'll get better ones then too.
See, that's another thing I was wondering too, which is great because he's just said take pictures of those footprints in case like they start melting. So I was wondering that. It's like, I wonder if like, that was preserved right as is, because by noon it could have been gone or something, So it definitely seems a lot of people were saying, oh, these officers were young and inexperienced, like so far. And I think when I watched the first one with Sleuthy Goosey and Teresa, like we were all under the consensus of like they were on top of like everything as far as like order of operations. They had the tape up before they even like took any of the witness statements and all that. So I mean, I don't know how chat feels, but it looks good so far.
Yeah, to me it seems like hey Roxanne, to me it seems like like on the scene, like these guys obviously, I know they don't have a lot of none of them will probably have any experience with dealing with a murder before. Probably deaths, of course, probably a lot of deaths, unexpected deaths that they might deal with, but like was said. I think the last murder was in 07. So a lot of these guys are pretty young, so probably weren't on the force when that happened. So yeah, like you said, I think they're dealing with this great. It was just after all this, where the bungling happened, where the messing up happened, and this was none of these guys' fault,
Yeah.
They were doing the job.
Yep. And the statements that they were putting out there too, like, which, like you said, wasn't these guys. It was almost like it was like the higher up guys, like the chief and the commander or whatever, who did that press conference, that other guy who had like the white hair. Yeah, there was just a lot of like media fumbling and statements and all that, like, because it was all kind of to protect the image of the universities.
Absolutely. And I think that these guys on the ground could give a hoot about the university's image, and I think that they were just there to do their job, what they took the oath to do, and it's these guys on the higher ups, like you say, that I think, we're trying to create this narrative that these guys messed up, and obviously now we have the body cams to prove that this isn't the case. They handled it with the utmost professionalism, I think.
I agree.
She's texting you?
Well, I told her to stage until she heard otherwise, but I told her I'd follow up with her.
Okay. I'll let you know. I think he's down getting the front. Yeah. Okay, just don't worry about it then. Just. Hey, boy. Yeah.
There's some blood leaking out.
All right, here we go. This is one of the images that one of the first images, I think Fox put it out, where we were all like, what is that? Remember, it was like all this debate where like people were holding like hour-long live streams just saying like, is it blood? Is it not blood? It's rust. It's from the heating vents. Like, it was just all this stuff. And then it was like, then finally it was like, the more information we got, we were like, okay, I think we all can accept like that was blood and that was from Xana's room.
Yeah.
And so this
it's
is
haunting. It's haunting that it was that bad. You know what I mean? Like, when you think of these things, you think of it like the movies. You know what I mean? Where there's only a small bit of blood, but it was just pouring out.
I know, and like it really, like you said, you think about the movies and how many times have we watched, especially in the 90s. Like I really think like the 80s and all that, like horror movies just really like did like an upswing, which kind of Ed Gein's show on Netflix is kind of touching on like the culture of horror movies. And
that's great.
Yeah, it is really interesting actually. Like, but it was always kind of like when I was growing up, it was like, oh, like I would watch the Jason movies and just think this isn't real. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, that's not what it's really like. And then when we saw this in this case, it kind of connected like the reality with the type of like over exaggerated, like horror type stuff that they do. And it was like, no, there can really be this type of horror in real life, and just knowing that it was. And
It
see,
is
there
so
were people who
reminiscent of
are
Scream.
still shocked. Like, they didn't think it was blood.
Yeah, it's still so reminiscent of like Scream and movies like that. You know, it's so like you said, like they were so shocked, even they were shocked. Like I thought there's no way it could have been that bad that it was pouring out the vents. You know what I mean? That is a scene from a horror movie, and that happened. You know what I mean? Those guys saw it. They all saw it. You know what I mean? I couldn't imagine, you know, how messed up that must leave you feel that is a horrific image. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we've been watching this for a little over 10 minutes, and he's kind of been doing these like pacing of the same kind of walks with his flashlight and stuff and just checking things out. And I'd seen the blood in the background, like as they were discussing stuff. And I was like, oh, is this when they find it? And so it's just to think that like they had already been out there for a while, like, 10, 15 minutes at this point. And then now they're just kind of seeing it. Like, I just wonder what they were thinking too. Like, is this blood? It can't be. Like, he detected it instantly that it was blood.
Yeah, I think it was the way it was pouring and the way it looks. Obviously, they probably see blood a lot more than we do.
True.
You know, and yeah, but I like my immediate reaction would have been, "There's no way," because that's just that like what I keep saying. It's a horror movie image. It's something you'd see in a horror movie.
Yeah. Here we go. Let's see.
I'm trying to find. Looks like there might be some blood in the sink, but
What sink? Like, I seen that in the title. It said blood in the sink, but I'm wondering like which sink he's referring to.
I mean, yeah.
Maybe next to Xana's room.
It would have to be. There'd be no reason why it would be downstairs and the ground floor. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't make any sense. Like, I think, but yeah, maybe it was his blood in the sink, because maybe he realized he'd slashed himself and he tried to put a cold tap under it so he wasn't leaked to stop the bleeding. You know what I mean? So he wasn't like leaking blood out the house.
Yeah, hopefully that gets ironed out. Hi, Shmita. And yeah, the pictures, you could see that it was darker, like almost like the blood had already like coagulated at the bottom when it was dripping. But at the same time, there was still an element of like me wondering if the mainstream media was like sensate. I'm like, there's no way. Is this like some way for them to just get like clicks, or you know what I mean? Like, I always got a question, like when Fox put it out there. But yeah.
It's one of those things. You can't believe it until you see it.
Yeah, the officer did say sink when he was in Xana's bathroom. I noticed that too, and I was like, I don't know. Maybe he like walked in there for a second and then was like, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
includes the LE going and coming and going too. So, fuck, dude.
I just started with actual time. You were all over there.
Okay, no, that's fine. Well, so
Said he got called about 20 minutes ago from his girlfriend. That's what went to the blue shirt. From one of the girls. So he couldn't go in there. He grabbed that knife that's on the earphone table.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to go in. It's clear, and then called us.
Okay. Anything weird about anything with him? Okay. Which ones?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. That those girls. There's the 2 girls. I think
Okay.
Each other, but actually, looks weird. One girl that was up there.
Nothing down there though.
There's that padlock. Yes, for.
And we haven't cleared that yet. Okay. Well, just be mindful of that as you're standing there, okay?
Yeah.
Been out several times, but heard anything.
All right. Try to figure that out, I guess. Got anything yet?
I just walked up to me and said, "Hey man, can I talk to you? What's going on?" He said, "Who are you? Do you live here?" I said, "No, with my girlfriend of 5 years. What's the name?" And I don't know what's going on. And I just live right over here.
Where's he live?
He just pointed to right over here and said, "I'll have some open time." And I said, "He's in the back next to his car."
Okay.
Okay, so he's just catching the other officer up in case those who couldn't hear about Jack, who was, as you guys know, Kaylee's ex-boyfriend. So we saw in the other body camera that we went through, eventually he starts walking up the street and he, you know, is trying to figure out what's going on. So that was just what their little small talk was about, is Jack, who is now sitting in the back of the other vehicle. And I also wanted to pause it because we discussed Murphy's Instagram account before. Murphy, of course, was the dog that they shared together. And if you guys haven't been following him on Instagram, it's Murphy_Goncalves. So Jack takes care of him now, runs this account. We discussed that he hadn't updated a post since July 23rd. Well, in the last few days, he has just posted a new post. So this, I see Valerie liked it too. So I was saying when I said, oh, he hasn't posted since July, which was like right when all this information was being dumped to the public. So I was saying, oh, I wonder if it's just, you know, he's stressed and upset right now. So he did an update 2 days ago. So Murphy's doing well. So give him a follow over there on Instagram if you guys have an Instagram. And there's another picture. So that's just a little update on Murphy, just so everyone knows that Jack is taking great care of him, and they've got an update again. It's been like a few months. So everything.
So glad he's doing well.
I know.
Have you been in there yet?
I need to take pictures of.
Just get every well, and get all the VINs and all that stuff too. There's one room that still hasn't been cleared yet in there, which is it's locked.
This 104. There's a guy in black mask. Was in there. She didn't recognize him. She did go screaming upstairs. She got scared, locked herself in the room, and then the screaming all stopped. She's pretty sure that this masked person pen out that back.
Okay, footprints.
Right now, getting all the information. She knows where the goes up there. I haven't told her.
Okay.
They just have court people that I'm unaccounted for.
Okay. Okay. Whose dog? We need to figure that out. So we get the dog here.
Whose dog?
The one in the truck in the car right now.
Okay. Tyson's on his way, and just keep pressing away, getting names.
Since she
and
knows a
stuff.
bunch of the people who are all living here, I'm getting all their names.
Thank you.
And then I'll finish collecting all the information.
Okay.
And yeah, Dieter was the dog in the Watts case. So everything that Dieter witnessed and everything Murphy witnessed, you know, we never forget about those surviving victims. And yeah, people know Dieter. He's doing well too, last I heard.
Yeah, so I've heard the same. It's just great to hear, you know, for the animal lovers that they're okay. You know, obviously it's terrible when people die or are murdered, but you know, I'm just glad that the animals managed to make it out okay.
Yeah, and the animals are well aware. That's what's so crazy too.
That's what saves them. They've got that sixth sense that, you know, they trust their gut a lot more than we do, clearly. You know.
Dieter.
And I apologize. There's a door downstairs next to the bathroom that's got a padlock on or a lock on it because.
We don't know. We don't know the
Okay. Who has access to that room?
Team Idaho.
Okay. So it's not something you guys normally are into at all. Okay. Thank you guys. We have an asshole. They're not moving anyway, so we'll.
Yeah, well, that's odd. That guy.
Apparently, his dog is the dog upstairs.
The guy.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go collect the dog. You actually do want to come help me do that? And then you have a. Well, let's get a leash from Mitch.
I have one in my car.
Well, his car's right here though. Hey, Mitch, you have a leash in your car? I get it.
Speak to someone about what's going on.
Yeah, give me just a second, man. I understand your dog's upstairs.
I'm not worried about my dog. I'm worried about what happened. I don't know anything.
Okay, well, we'll get with you in a minute, man. I apologize. It's kind of a chaotic moment, okay? Everyone. Well, detectives can get really good before photos too. Apparently that door belongs like a storage closet for Team Idaho. Yeah, still keep an eye on it though, but Trying to see this door back here.
Just going to answer a question real quick because I have it in my notes. When do they get the vandal alert? So we have it in our notes with a screenshot of it. The University of Idaho sent out the vandal alert at 4:07 p.m.
Next light. Go ahead. What was it?
Something CC in the call.
I copy. Yeah, just watch where you step. I haven't seen any out here. That was grabbed by the dude that came in, but there's some signs of some stuff around. Maybe. Still with the screen down.
Take a picture of it. I'm just waiting for a tape print so you can grab one.
Okay, he's taking photos, so they'll get it when they get to it. I think Al Mitch is talking to said that she can. Said that they're pretty small hands. Said they saw a guy come in last night with a ski mask on or a black mask on, and heard screaming and stuff like around 3 or 4. This is here. Yep. Okay. It sounds like that. And then Ryan's got a guy out here that lives over here that's the ex-boyfriend of one of them. So he's detained in his car at the moment, or in his car at the moment.
Yeah, I didn't realize there's people just now.
Hey man, how's it going?
Not too bad. How are you?
Would you be open to taking a dog to the impound for me?
Yeah.
All right.
Where is it at?
We are at. I haven't collected it yet. It's a little poodle thing, but we're at 1122 King Road.
1122 King Road?
Yep. Yeah, I appreciate it. That'd be awesome, man. All right. All right, we Justin's going to take the dog to pound for us. Awesome. Did you get this room?
I can picture from the doorway.
And then, yeah. 4613. Let me know when the O2 arrives. Room on the left is where the dog is. Ooh, sorry. We shut the door to this so that the dog didn't go in there. What's up?
You looking for the dog?
Yeah, we got him.
You already checked back there?
They cleared the house. I didn't clear the house. Yes. Good? Yeah, we'll let you get photos first and we'll corral him out of here.
You open the door?
Huh?
Here?
Yes. We shut it so the dog.
Okay, so a couple seconds ago, he said, I shut the door so the dog didn't go in there. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, so then maybe it was left open. And then right here, he says again that he shut the doors so the dog didn't get in. And then now they redact the rest of it. Like, I thought we were on the brink of like finding out him saying like when we got here, it was open, or you know what I mean?
Exactly, like you thought that was the exact timestamp nailed down, and we were going to get all the answers, and then it's just redacted.
Right.
You know, it's the story of these cases. Is so much stuff gets held back, but there's been some really interesting discussions in the chat whilst we've been watching that on mute, and I've been following them, and you know, I personally think that maybe there were some substances in the house. And maybe they were gotten rid of before the cops and the EMS turned up. So I think there was a degree of things were moved, but I don't think that they necessarily had anything to do with the crimes. I just think that that's a hunch I got, and that's why I think that they were panicking. I think this has been discussed here before. I think I may have heard it discussed here before, but certainly I go back to that time and I was doing drugs, and I think, you know, nothing crazy, but like that would be a reaction of a young person. But as an adult, you know what I mean? And I know they were adults, but they were young adults. But as a much older adult, you'd be able to rationalize and say, look, they're not going to care about a bit of weed if a bunch of people have been murdered. They're just not. They're not going to do anything regarding that. That's how a normal police investigation would function. So, like, I think these discussions in the chat are very, very, very poignant.
It does kind of, it's one of the main things that kind of helps you understand, and could be the reason why they're blacking out Dylan's room, Bethany's room, because
fills in the blanks.
Yeah,
certainly fills in the blanks for me, because I don't think any of them, you know, were participating in it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think no one here, and I haven't heard anyone on YouTube say that they think that they were involved in it by participating. I don't think no one was saying that at all, but I certainly am leaning towards that theory of the drugs.
I agree totally. And it's like you said, when we were that age, it kind of does make sense, because it's like, okay, I mean, they're in college, you know, so, and
they
it's
got a
not
lot
like
at
these
stake.
guys were losers, like they had their stuff together.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have said they think that Dylan's actions were just like self-preservation, like on some level. Again, that's the consensus of, like, if we're saying that this theory of that there might have been drugs involved, or she was, you know, it's like it does kind of make sense.
I think most people that age are all about self-preservation. I think you have to get a level of maturity before you stop getting like that. You know what I mean? I think, you know, these burly out of their teens, you know what I mean? So they're still, their brains weren't fully, you know, developed yet. So that kind of thinking is pretty typical of a younger person. And we're not slating anyone here, and I've never heard anyone to do with a case, unless they were the perpetrators, slated here. You know what I mean? We're just asking questions, and because there's been a lack of transparency, that's why we're spitballing like this, because we don't know. definitively.
Exactly. And hi, Seth. And hi, Scottish Queen.
Hey, everybody.
And also, too, like, say that this whole drug theory is accurate. And just Dylan seeing Kohberger and not calling 911 and him seeing her that, he knew that there was an eyewitness and him leaving her alive. Like, there very well could have been an aspect of, like, not only was she trying to survive that moment, but she might have also said, like, just leave. I won't call the cops, because, like, she's also in that, like, self-preservation mode too. Because, like, if it was something where there was drugs in her room or whatever, like, I don't know. I think that it kind of all could tie together in that way.
I completely agree. There was something that made them hesitant. And I can't for the life of me think about what that could be, because I don't think that they were involved in doing it. You know what I mean? So, like, what else could it be?
Right. And they're just not thinking accurately, or,
Yeah.
their mind isn't the way they would be thinking if they were sober. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
This is a little redacted, though.
It was open.
Hold on. We might have got it clarified.
Huh? Yes. We shut it, so it's not. It was open.
It was open.
What you needed? Oh. Come here, pup. Hi, puppy. Hi, puppy. Hi, pup. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. Come on. Come on. You want to go outside? Come on. Come on. All right, I got a dog. Come on. Come on. Justin Olson's going to come pick this dog up and take him to the pound for us. Come on. Do you mind holding on to him for a second? Do you want to... Never mind.
Yeah, I'm going to retake this out.
Okay, thank you. Oh, fuck, dude. I know you're a little late to the party, but the just anybody that comes and goes out of here, just start a crime log on your end.
Pointing at the blood, but it's redacted.
No weapon we've been able to locate.
We haven't moved anybody, but I would ascertain it's probably not here. But looks like there's some dried blood on the sink, but there's not any around it, and there's no blood droplets on the outside. Once we get everybody here, we need to start tracking down where these go to. Figure that out. Do they look like they bend back at all, or?
That's come and go. They look like they're down the log right here.
And go down?
Because if you went up that way, we would see it.
Right. a big foot too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a 12. That's bigger than
Probably
me.
13 or
Easily a 13 or
14. Well, we're going to be here for a while, obviously.
Whatever you need.
And if those were Kohbergers, I know some people were like, no, in the defense logs and filings, they said that it didn't match Kohberger's shoe size or something. I would have to see like more on all that for me to say like, oh, okay, then it's not Kohberger's. But
well, it would be kind of sorry.
No, yeah, go ahead. I think you're going to say exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think it would be like, it wouldn't be like a stretch to think just because he's doing a murder. You could wear them that they're too big or too small. You know what I mean, to throw cops off. So, it doesn't definitively prove that they're not his.
Exactly, and it almost like goes along with what you were saying in the beginning of the stream of like he got sloppy. You know what I mean? Like it's never what they imagine what it's gonna be. You know what I mean? And then
yeah, because I saw an interview with Edmund Kemper, and he said about his first murder, he was like, everything that you're supposed to do to get away with it, I didn't do. It was sloppy, it was messy, it was rushed. I couldn't barely believe I'd even done it. And I was already time had already passed. I needed to get rid of the body. I needed to burn clothes. I needed to do this and do that, but I just couldn't. I was so fixated in what I just done that I was in almost a trance. And that's exactly what you shouldn't do if you want to get away with it.
Yeah,
I've heard similar things from different interviews of serial killers, saying their first one was always the messiest.
And then I've also heard, just to add to that too, is like things that you're not supposed to do that like these serial killers have come out like after arrests stating that they did, is like Ted Bundy returning back to the scenes at times, and just kind of reliving the excitement and moment there. Like not good.
And
returning back to
Dennis,
the scene.
sorry.
Yeah, just not anything good to do. Cindy said no one said anything about the knife sheath yet. So we know that was next to Maddie's leg. And he said, do you any sign of a weapon? He said, I would ascertain that the weapon's probably not here, but I haven't moved anybody yet. So I wonder if it's maybe they needed to lift the cover a little bit, or maybe like her leg needed to be moved a little bit to see it. But yeah, there is nobody had looked in and said there's a knife sheath. However, there's also been so many redactions right now too of like their conversations about Kaylee's room or Maddie's room with Kaylee and Maddie in it.
Right now, we're just locking it down until the Tyson City's almost here, and detectives will be up here shortly. So.
We have one detained right now.
Well, I shouldn't say detained. We have one that came up, and Ryan was in the middle of something, so he stashed him away. I think Nunes is interviewing him right now, his ex-boyfriend. Looks like that's where those go, Ryan. That's where those footprints go.
Right down here.
Yeah, they wrap around that log and cut back.
Moscow 113. I have 5 missions to run. Washington next. And the last one's by Vin. Just attach them.
I'm going to go try to see if I really recognize all these cards in here.
Okay, and eventually here too, we're going to have to start. We'll wait till
There's a footprint that comes down right on the private. Well, I don't want to walk in the snow.
So Ishmi.
It comes right here, right where that rock right there. The angle's down that way. I didn't get a picture of it.
Like it pops down there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, God, no one's gonna have fucking ring cameras up here either or anything like that, I bet. Well, once detectives gets here, we'll
start doing more to help.
Well, we'll start doing we'll do a little bit more. We'll try doing some canvassing and some stuff. Yeah.
You guys recognize all these vehicles?
Yeah. He's down there. Just let people know. Oh, thanks, bud. Come on. Come on. Thank you so much, dude.
Freaking Troy.
Yeah, I'm sure he's giving them the rundown right now.
Yeah, the early reports are that they saw somebody come in the house with a mask on. I heard screaming. So I had a pretty good timeline in which it happened.
Any of these people sitting out here, they all residents?
A couple of them were in the house when it happened. So, holy fuck, dude. Good. Well, thank you again.
Do you need anything?
Yeah, will do. I appreciate it. Thanks, man. We don't know who the owner yet is. Like, I couldn't tell you, so you can just tell them to not release it until we say anything. Write that on the thing.
Yeah, I'll put it in the notes. I'm just going to start taking pictures of cars and looking at it.
Okay, I'll,
don't want to start.
you want to just start photoing, I'll start looking, I guess, and we're kind of at a standstill for the moment. Someone's gonna have to cut a pants at some point. So.
No.
Well,
one of them say they saw someone?
Yeah, one of them saw that they saw someone come out. Right. I'm even
Maggie and Kaylee were at the club last night. They got grub truck after. I don't know if they ran into anybody that maybe had issues there. They just had a formal the other day when without a hitch. There was no issues at formal, so that there's nobody that they should be having bad blood. So obviously follow up needs to be done at the club and the grub truck at the very least. I did a very preliminary interview with the two people that live here and that were here last night. Everybody else I'm about to identify was not here last night, but was here in the parking area when I rolled up. So
Perfect. Anybody asked? Does any of these cars belong to these guys?
Ryan asked. Sounds like they recognize all these vehicles to include some of the ones down there.
Well, if they ask, none of these can leave for the time being. We need to start, once Tyson gets here, we'll start figuring out how to get them somewhere warm.
Yeah. A couple of them did ask about like bottled water or something. I don't know if you can really
I have a couple bottles in my car, so I can grab those.
Everyone would be willing to help out however they can.
Okay, I'm gonna go grab. I'll go grab those out of my car, and then
keep asking what's the status of all four people.
They all know. They all know what's wrong. Just keep doing what you're doing.
So he was basically asking them, they're asking about the status of those four inside, and that guy was like, they know. Interesting.
It is. It's interesting to see that gut reaction. You know what I mean? I think obviously they've seen situations, like this. They have to have at least a decent, good level of deduction. But yeah, I think that they may have. I think they all knew that everyone that was dead. You know what I mean? I think that obviously they would have had to have known, you know what I mean? But whether they
accepted it or believed it, maybe,
whether they could process it even, you know what I mean? It's like you said, accept it, believe it, process it. Like the brain is a very complicated thing, you know what I mean? And how people process stuff it's difficult to say unless you're in that situation, how you're going to deal with it and respond to it. And I think, hey, Delana, and I think maybe like mixing with the drugs as well, like what we feel, maybe that it's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. And I just go back to still like in this preliminary interview with Dylan, she said, I heard everything.
Yeah.
And she said it like as she was like catching her breath, like I heard like she knows, but it's still like, and I'm sure Jack too is just so confused in the back of that car, still kind of like, what is going on?
Yeah, I think honestly, like there's a degree of like them not wanting to believe it, but I think also the substances may have played a role in them not calling immediately because I mean, I just think about even when I was on drugs, I was uber paranoid. You know what I mean? So I would have called it much less than that. You know what I mean? And if I thought my life was in danger, you know what I mean? Even if I had drugs in the house, I'd probably try and deal with it myself. But yeah, if I can see in a group of people situation, like we should try and call. You know what I mean? Like it's weird, like what a chat I said earlier. Scott Metalhead, I think that scream for your life. It's a different kind of scream than a little scream of pain or excitement. It's shrieking, it's guttural, you know what I mean? It's something that you can't unhear.
Yeah, I know it. I know. And at first, so earlier we talked about the media fumbling with this case with information and stuff like that. One of the things that I noticed, and I think everyone can agree, like the statements, even in the PCA, like no statement was made with that Dylan heard screaming.
Yeah.
In fact, we were all wondering that, like, didn't she hear scream? That wasn't something that we kind of like solidified that she heard until the plea deal was over. So
yeah, that was another thing where there was question marks over it. So many things that we were questioning, didn't have a definitive answer over, and even still there's questions asked that we can't and probably won't get an answer to, but we got to keep pushing,
Yep. Yeah.
keep the
And
pressure on
digging.
the authorities to be more transparent. I just wish everyone could be like Grady Judge or whatever his name is, the one down in Florida.
I know he's a national treasure. But yeah, there's only like 4 minutes left. I'll kind of like give my concluding thoughts of this whole body cam. I saw somebody ask if there's other body cams from the detectives. There's like a slow drip of this stuff coming out. I haven't seen anything from the detectives or ISP. I've only seen Moscow so far.
Gunderson's off mic.
Her dad called her and her brother said he was being questioned, and so he just wanted to know like more information on it. If you could tell his family or anything.
Not at this time.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. I'm back off mic.
They thought it was a firecracker.
Okay, so it could have been a pistol involved.
Back and start on a search warrant right now.
Okay.
And then the last calls too, this is pretty good. Right after it happened, it was at 4:21, 4:22, 4:30. She made these phone calls immediately after the bang.
Okay. Trying to call the people that are in the house, and no one answered and taking it. Okay. Perfect.
Do we want to shut this down so Travis not rolling through?
Probably.
I can do that. All right.
You know what?
Thanks, Darren.
All right. Bye. Sounds like there possibly was one gunshot heard, a firecracker.
Okay.
We haven't seen any obvious gunshot wounds. Like I said, we didn't lose anybody. And then, what did your lady say about someone coming in, seeing somebody come in?
Or she saw a guy masked, about 6 foot, skinny build like a basketball player. She described, said that he had a just full black mask, see like a ski mask. At about 4, immediately after, she yelled and said, "There's someone in the house." This girl ran, locked herself in the room. Could hear a roommate that was upstairs, Kaylee. Somehow she was able to discern that it was Kaylee screaming. Then she could hear this masked man saying, sorry.
Let me call Brett.
She could hear him say,
I'll go brief text real quick. John, do you just want this whole thing shut off? Huh? Hey there. I can't say, but I'm gonna need you to go back this way. Just go ahead and back straight up and pull out. Thank you. Probably. Gunderson's going off mic.
Wow.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. I was just having like Wi-Fi issues just for a second before you played the last part, you know what I mean? And I couldn't hear you for a second, and I'm completely fine now. It was just where I was sitting in my house. It's close to the window, so it's kind of near outside.
You're fine. I just got like an alert on my StreamYard that said my mic was unplugged. I was like, no, it's just muted. So I just wanted to make sure everything's good.
Oh yeah, I can hear you fine. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you. Basically, I guess after watching that, I've come to the conclusion that Kaylee and Maddie were in that room with the door open, and then they closed it. So that kind of solves that whole like piece for me. So then I'm picturing Kohberger, which makes sense because like weeks ago when this images of the house were released, there was like, I don't know if you remember, on Maddie's door there was like little like not even, I wouldn't even call it like spatter, like, well, I guess it was just like very small like dots of blood. So we were all like, oh, maybe the door was open and that was like the cast, like very small cast off. So that kind of got solved for me too. So now I'm realizing like Hunter, whoever went upstairs, the door was already opened. Something else that stood out, of course, was the mention of blood in the sink. We kind of thought it was Xana's sink, but we still never got like definitive, like this sink.
Yeah.
Trying to think what else kind of stood out. The footprints that went around the house. Like we knew weeks ago that there was those ones right outside the back of the sliding door. But hearing him come around and tell like near the end of all that, that they had kind of curled around the house too is interesting.
Makes it seem like he did a full lap of the place, you know what I mean? Like recently before you did it that night, maybe even earlier in the day, that morning, maybe.
I was
just
thinking
to check things out. And just to reply in chat, Scott's from Donny from Doncaster. I grew up in St Helens, so you may have heard of St Helens. It's close to Wigan and Manchester and Liverpool, so that whole area, the north. And he's from the north as well.
You just reminded me of Jon Snow. Like, did you ever watch Game of Thrones?
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
I love Game of Thrones. It's great.
I figured. But anything, I'm trying to think if anything else kind of stood out to me. I guess I'm still kind of stunned that Murphy, even though the door was shut, like he wasn't like wandering around the house. Like he was so petrified that like he really did just stay, and maybe not only petrified, but just like, let me wait here for my owner to come back. She's coming back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so sad that it's such a, and seeing how nice the cops were with him as well. It was just, that was so nice. And like that, I think the way how professional the police were was a big surprise to me, because I did feel that this perception was out there that they didn't do as proactive a job. And I think that was pushed by mainstream media. And it was, I think, like what we discussed at the start, I think that was preemptive to try and say, look, it's these cops, these ordinary cops who are at fault, not the DA, not the coroner, not the, the lab people, which just, swapping blame, placing blame falsely on their own people. So I think that was a good thing to show that narrative is false.
Yeah, I would say these officers have a lot to be proud of as far as the way that they handled that whole. Like, I don't really have any criticism at all. It was interesting also seeing the cop compare his size 12 footprint to that other footprint there, and what is happening with these footprints, like in the files. Like, I want to know, does that ever get ironed out? I don't know. But anything stood out for you or anyone in chat before we end things? But Sunday we are doing a Watts deep dive as well, so I hope you guys all join me then.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna do we'll see. I'll message you. Like I want to do the dark elements of NK, but I also I didn't really lay anything out yet.
Don't worry about it. Like if you want to do something different, that's fine, and we can prep. You can prep for that, and I'll just prep by just thinking about it a bit and writing a few notes and stuff. So yeah, it's good that you have that professionalism. With when I was doing lives, I was just very slapdash, and very punk rock, I suppose. And I think it's better to have things a little bit more polished.
Yeah, something like that subject, I think that it would do it justice to kind of tie it up a little bit better. But for next weekend too, if you want to join to listen to Dylan's interview, or if anything else comes out this week also in the Idaho case, next Friday, plan to dig into that stuff again. So there's
Sounds great.
Dylan and Hunter. So I don't know if I'll have to look. But yeah, you're welcome, of course. And guys, if you guys want to check Jay's channel out, the @ and then his name in the title, you just click on it and it'll take you right there. So show support and subscribe. And thank you to everyone who donated, everyone who just hit the like button and just chimed in with comments. I really appreciate all of you guys. And thank you again, Jay, for joining.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So you guys all have a good night and have a good Saturday, and I'll see you guys Sunday night.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Okay, bye.